Whoa. Okay. Now we're back to me being impressed with this. Oh, that is cool. So they're trying to fight back the Kraken with presumably a powder keg or something. Hello there everybody, my name is Bloomer Brown and welcome back once again to Return of the Obra Dinn. We're continuing on from the last episode where we were dealing with the fallout of a massive explosion down under on the gun deck, I think. We have at last come to the realization of what happened here. It seems that the Kraken reached in and grabbed one of the cannons and pinned some of the guys. So I'm assuming that is the two guys that were kind of blasted apart there. Obviously the cannon went, oh man, that is absolutely grotesque. Yeah, so the cannon appears to have gone off and murdered them, and this guy got crushed under it when the Kraken presumably released them from its grip. Oh, that is pretty intense. So this guy, I think, I have no idea who he is, but I do have an idea about how he died. So he was crushed by a beast. Crushed by a terrible beast. Yeah, the Kraken reached in and grabbed him as he was lighting the fuse on that cannon, which led to the fallout that we saw in the last episode. Oh man, this game is absolutely blowing my mind at this stage. I have more irons in the fire than I know what to do with at this stage. And I am no closer to finding out who any of these guys were. Yeah, so definitely none of these guys would have been present on the deck, because I think our guy has gone up at this stage. This is our tattooed guy, and this is an unknown somebody. Have we encountered you before? Yes, we have. You end up making your way up onto the deck, possibly when this cannon flies back. And you guys just essentially abandon your post and make your way to the deck to try and fight the good fight up there. Wow, that is beyond a mind bender. So I'm going to exit this memory and see what's going on out in the real world. Okay, so we're back. We are in the real world. I have absolutely no idea what to make of any of this. I don't even know where I'm going to begin to identify the guys that have been killed down here. So I think that I am going to end up making my way further along and see what was happening up here when all of that was going down. Again, we're seeing that little sparkly thing out there. Not entirely sure what that is. I think I noticed that in the last episode. So any more carnage down here? No. So what is this? This looks... well, that looks like the latrine. Do you call it a latrine on a ship? I don't think you do. We seem to have some storage down here as well. But nothing else of interest. Okay, so we can go into some of these doors. It's probably worth having a little look around. I'm guessing these are the crew's quarters. And we're going to make our way back out. I'm just going to check them all. Okay, so we've got a locked door there. That is important because that will be opened by a memory at some point. Let's take a look in here. Nothing really interesting in here. make our way back out. And I may as well check this one as well. The one that is locked over there with the X on the lock is actually pretty interesting, because that means we have another memory to unlock down here somewhere. Though we may need to find another corpse in order to do that. Okay, so this door is locked. So I'm definitely missing something. Since all the action was taking place on this side of the ship, maybe there's something going on in here. I honestly don't think that I can identify any of the guys down here or how they died. I know our friend Martin was down here, but since he appeared up on... Have I reviewed this guy? I think... Yeah, I have, yeah, because... The Doom, part 4 of 8. Okay. Yeah, so this is after the Kraken grabbed the thing. It expired the cannon and killed these two guys. How do I escape this memory? It blew this cannon aside and probably killed that guy as well. Okay, so that shot the cannon across the room. And presumably this was probably ready to fire as that one was coming through, and that's what ended up crushing this guy. This was the guy that was crushed, I think. Although this can't be the guy that was crushed, because he was up on the mutiny with the captain, unless that came before this. Oh, I am terribly confused. So I am going to exit this memory for a moment and probably actually take a look at the book, because a distinct Northern Irish accent up here. So it's cue to take a look at the crew. I think he sounded Northern Irish, that is. So Ireland, Butcher. Did I see a gunner here from Ireland? England, Nosa, England, Ireland, second mate steward, Samuel Gilligan. New Guinea, England, Russia, England, Denmark, Wales, India, Sierra Leone, England, Ireland, Patrick O'Hagan, seaman. Okay, so there are a couple of Irish guys down here. Second mate steward. Have we anyone? Wait, second mate. Who was the second mate? Was the second mate... we've got a butcher from Ireland. First mate, second mate, Edward Nichols. So it's... Okay. Martin Perrow, unknown. Okay, so we've definitely got an Irish guy down here. I did hear an Irish accent. But I can't see anybody who would have anything to do with this, except for perhaps that second mate's steward. Where is he again? What was his name? Second mate steward, Samuel Gilligan. Gilligan, okay. And the second mate is a guy by the name of Edward Nichols, who is English. Okay, so that doesn't really give me anything. What chapter are we on? We are into the Doom, which did seem to happen before. Okay, part 1, on the bow. Okay, so perhaps we need to get ourselves to the bow next, because what's happening down here on the gun deck is kind of out of hand at this stage. There is absolute chaos breaking out, and no, hold on. Okay, so that's the third mate. Which could make this other guy over here the second mate. Crushed by a cannon. That could be our guy Gilligan. That's only just guessing at this stage, so there's no point, I suppose, in doing something like that. Blasted by an explosion. Okay, so that's the guy that was up on the deck. This is our tattooed friend who was working the cannons down below. Of course, this is Abigail, the conclusion. Okay, so yeah, the next logical step does in fact seem to be for us to make our way towards the bow of the ship and see if there's anything out there at this stage that we can sort of deduce about. The bow of the ship is the front of the ship, and I am not seeing anything here. Perhaps I'll take another look at this guy. Okay, so that is that taken care of. Unless we're looking for the bow down below, maybe. We may be looking at people who are suffering down there. Who's this, incidentally? So he's a guy. Okay, so this is our tattooed guy. Yeah, so he was on the deck. This is presumably after the explosion happened, and they've made their way up and made a hames of defending themselves once again from the Kraken. Perhaps the Kraken is actually after the goat, much like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. And they went, oh wait, there's actually somebody being thrown overboard here. I had not noticed that before. Who is that? Okay, so this is our, I'm assuming Indian dude. I know there were a couple of people on this ship from India, and since he's got the turban and the beard, it's reasonable to presume that he is of Indian origin. So he's been thrown overboard. Did he die by being thrown overboard, or was he rescued afterwards? That is the question. Open the one to flip directly to the sketch. Okay, yeah. That's fantastic. So this guy, he is in one memory. I think he's in more than one memory. First memory, underway sketch, bookmark memories. He is in more than one memory. I think I saw him below deck as well. Formosan royalty. Okay. This is the Justice at Sea sketch. Okay. Formosan royal family. Okay. So, I think I am more confused than I ever was. Does seem though that this guy may have been thrown overboard and died like that. Since we haven't found a corpse yet though, it remains to be seen what we can figure out about him. I may actually make a note of that. Let's see. Thrown overboard. Yes, I have taken to keeping a notepad and pencil close to hand. I've heard that it can help when playing this game. So yeah, he went overboard. Now he may have been rescued from the water following the attack, so it's not so I'm not entirely sure if that is how that guy died or not. Though it is interesting that I didn't spot that before, so it seems as though making our way back through the memories is going to be something important for us to be doing. So let's see if we can make our way forward down below deck. Perhaps it was towards the bow, down under the decks as opposed to above the decks. So I'm going to make my way back down. And there we go. A door has indeed opened. We are greeted to another partial skeleton down here. So yeah, the book actually came in very handy there in discovering where we should go next. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at what was happening to this poor guy. Okay, so this seems to be at the very beginning of the Kraken attack. This guy has been out here dropping a deuce, and it seems as though the beast has been disturbed, although it doesn't actually look stormy, so my initial thoughts about it being a stormy night may have actually been wrong. This guy's looking worried. Everybody is asleep at this stage, so yeah, this is the first instance of the Kraken attacking, I think. What's going on over here? Okay, so these guys are just having a drink. Yeah, so this is before it all kicks off. Here we see our guy again. Is this the second mate? This could be the Northern Irish guy that I was thinking on. Or at least the voice that I heard was definitely Northern Irish. So it seems that it was a sneak attack by the Kraken at first. So 13 others were present. Okie doke. ES, what is this about? ES. Unknown. This unknown soul met an unknown fate. Okay, so I am willing to guess that this ES is the guy who was doing these sketches in the first place. And while he was out dropping a deuce, he was killed by the Kraken. Met an unknown fate. Hold on, I'm going to figure this out. What is the best way to explain what happened to him? He was kind of crushed. Crushed by a beast. I'm going to say he was crushed by a terrible beast. There was a lot of crunching going on there. And I am willing to believe that this ES is actually the sketch artist. So let's have a look at the crew. So he wouldn't be carpenter, cook, butcher, gunner, gunner's mate, purser. What the hell is a purser? I have to look that up. Helmsman, artist, Edward Spratt from England, who is an artist. Let's go to Q again. I need to examine that. It looks like this might be, so it's in the Doom. It is on the bow. We need to go and have a look at that memory to see if he appears in the sketch. It is a notion, since there is an ES and he is an artist, if he doesn't appear in the sketch, and he doesn't, his picture doesn't appear in the sketch, so this is our sketch artist. Because obviously he wouldn't appear in the sketch himself. So I'm going to open the book and we're going to skip along to the Doom. Yes, what was his actual name again? I need to go to the crew manifest and have a look. So yeah, it was Edward Spratt. Okay. Cue the Doom. And we are on the bow. So this is one Mr. Edward Spratt. Okay, it gives their role here as well. Samuel Peters, Nicholas, passenger. Okay, artist Edward Spratt from England was crushed by a terrible beast. I'm assuming that since when we zoom in on him, we only get a view of his signature ES. We don't actually see his face in the sketches. I'm assuming that he was the sketch artist that was working on the ship, and while dropping a deuce, he was dispatched by the Kraken. Which leaves us with our watch once again vibrating, which means that something else is about to go down in here, and it may be this poor guy's turn next, because it seems that he's become aware of the unusual sounds that are coming from out there, though he was straining a bit to begin with. Anyway, let's have a peek. Okay, so it's up here. I think we need to go up a level, back up onto the deck. Aha, yes. So it seems that the beast, if I could get up the stairs, so it seems that the beast kind of attacked in a stealthy manner. There wasn't actually a storm going on at all. Oh, okay. This doesn't seem to be a Kraken-related death at all. Okay, so things are going to start getting really complicated now, and that's what I was afraid of. So let's charge up our and try to figure out how that poor guy died. Yeah, that is something that I was worried that would happen. So I'm just going to release his spirit from the memory there. So yeah, that is something that I was worried would start happening amid the chaos of an attack like that. If you had a grudge against someone and you really wanted to do them in, waiting for a moment of chaos like that would be a good time to try and dispatch with them. So let's have a look at what happened to this guy and see if we can work out who he is.
Let me on. Over my dead body, you bloody Dane. Huh? How's that?
There's no cause for trouble, boys. Get in the boat.
Thought I'd forget. You killed my brother. What? That was an accident. The ropes.
It wasn't his fault. I saw the whole thing.
Lies. I shouldn't have waited so long.
No, don't.
Okay. So it seems that one of these guys is from Denmark, and we've got two guys in the boat. It seems like these guys are trying to make a break for it. It's definitely nighttime. The goat is asleep. Oh, the music is incredible. I really hope that they get the soundtrack for this out. Have we seen this guy before? I don't think we have. No, we most definitely have not. So these are all new characters for us, which is going to make things just a little bit more interesting. Okay, so it still registers as part of the Doom. So who was this? Well, I have no idea who they were, but they were clubbed by an unknown attacker. Is clubbed the right? Clubbed, clawed, decapitated, drowned, alive, eaten, electrocuted, expired, exploded, fell, froze, illness, killed with sword, knife, poison shot, speared, spiked, strangled, struck, suicide, torn apart. Yeah, I think clubbed is probably the best option there. Okay. Location of the corpse. 3 others were present. We've got these guys. These are all completely new faces. 3 others were present. Yeah, so there was 2 guys in the boat, and the 2 guys were having a fight on the deck. Okay. Let's... yeah, okay. There is no more information I can gain from this, unless it's a case that during the attack one of these guys ends up dead. I'm gonna have to go and start looking through that again, I think, to discover whether or not they were killed in. Okay, so conclusion: disappearance. 7 wayward souls disappeared during the events of this chapter. Their fates are catalogued here. I do not know who this guy is, but I am pretty confident that he fell overboard. Eaten, killed, knife, torn apart, poisoned. I'm gonna say drowned for now, because I did see him disappear. Drowned by an unknown attacker. No, that doesn't seem right. Perhaps he fell. There is an option for fell. Fell overboard. Yeah, so he was definitely the guy that I saw falling overboard. Still no idea who he is. This guy. I'm assuming that some of the guys escaped. I think this was one of the guys that was on the boat. I should really take another look at that memory, because some of these guys were escaping aboard the boat for some apparent reason. Of course, that other guy fell overboard, and perhaps there was another 1 or 2 that fell overboard as well. Okay. This is the 2nd episode of dealing with this chapter, and it's actually proving to be a little bit more challenging than what I went through in sort of the first episode and the first part of the 2nd episode. So I think what I'm going to do between episodes is have a look through the information that I have and try and come back in the next episode with some idea as to who they are. If I discover it pretty quickly, I will obviously put it on video. I won't kind of make any progress in game, but I will have a look around, because this is in danger of dragging out just a little too much. So with that in mind, I think that I am going to take this opportunity to say once again, thank you very much for tuning in. You have been watching Bloomer Brown on YouTube, and I will see you next time.